Look, let's just take a 30,000-foot view so far. I know you've heard those sound bites, you've heard the reporting, and you watched President Trump's interview on CNBC. How are you thinking about the economic and foreign policy implications of a potential second Trump presidency?
Well, they will be very, very serious. Trump is an isolationist, among other things. He doesn't see foreign policy in the same way that Democrats, particularly President Biden, does. He has a following. His MAGA constituency follows his every word. He has taken over a political party, a major party, and made it over into his own image. And he wants to really remake American politics. His supporters are by and large not college-educated Americans. They are less well-educated. There's a huge diploma divide in the United States. Those with a college degree do not support Trump. Those who did not get a college degree of any age, they do support President Trump. So it's a very close election.
On the economy in particular, Professor, what we see now are battle lines being drawn here. President Biden saying he wants to hike taxes, particularly on the wealthy. President Trump saying he wants to cut them. It seems as if we are entering a situation where the United States is forced to make a choice between what it wants and what it needs.
Well, that's one way of putting it. But what each of these candidates is doing is rallying their political base. This is one of the oldest debates in American politics. It's a debate over economic populism. President Biden is a liberal economic populist, which means these people, the Democrats by and large, resent the rich. Trump is a conservative populist. His constituents resent well-educated people and people who are experts, government bureaucrats who go around telling other Americans what to do. It's two forms of populism that are defeating each other, that are competing with each other. And it's going to be a real race over these two angry populist contenders.
Professor, I'm not sure if you use TikTok, but millions of Americans do. And this is also shaping up to be a key issue this week as we look at potential legislation in Congress to ban it. This is something that President Trump has been focusing on. It's something that President Biden is looking at as well. As you look at this situation more broadly, what are the implications of banning TikTok in the United States, both politically and in terms of national security, in your view?
Well, the obvious implication is isolationism and protectionism. Trump endorses isolationism and protectionism. He wants the United States essentially to go it alone. You just heard his comments about how the United States is taken advantage of by other countries. He would like to ban TikTok. The result would be a bit of an explosion. Young people in the United States are big users of TikTok. It's a very popular program. And there'd be a big response, not just from young people who don't have the right to vote, but from their parents who are wondering, why are you taking this privilege, this preoccupation away from our children?
Indeed, and all of this also comes back to the strategic competition that will be increasing in the coming years between the United States and China. What impact do you think this bill will have on US-China relations and broader concerns about Chinese influence and data security in the United States? Is this something that you also look at closely?
Yes, it will have implications because it will be seen as a protectionist measure. The United States used to be very protectionist in the old days. We were also isolationist for about 200 years until World War II, with a few exceptions. But isolationism, protectionism, Donald Trump recalls those traditions with great favor. He wants to return the United States to the grand old days when we were on our own and let the rest of the world get along as well as it could without us. Well, since World War II, that has not been the rule. Since World War II, the rule has been that whenever there's a threat to international order or to humanitarian values, if the United States doesn't do something, nothing happens. What would have happened if we hadn't intervened when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait? What would have happened if ethnic cleansing had continued in the Balkans? Those were very serious matters, and the United States led the rest of the world. Trump repudiates those traditions.